And it's magnificent. You know,
Right.
go back into the files and pick out little...
Welcome to Hollywood Bulletin, the place where we reveal the untold truths behind some of the biggest names in showbiz, and today, we're diving into the shocking and complicated story of one of television's most legendary figures, Ed Sullivan, whose carefully controlled public image crumbled behind the scenes, revealing a man far more complex than the one who smiled in your living room every Sunday night. Ed Sullivan was a household name, but in 1955, he made a decision during a live broadcast that shocked audiences and nearly ended in violence. It began when musician Bo Diddley performed a different song than what Sullivan had instructed. The choice ignited Sullivan's temper, and backstage, things almost turned physical. Witnesses said Sullivan used a racial slur in a moment of explosive anger, a side of him rarely seen by the public. That incident got Diddley banned for life from the show, but it also became a pivotal moment in the history of rock and roll. Sullivan's life began with tragedy. Born in Harlem in 1901 as a twin, his brother Daniel died in infancy, and his family faced several devastating losses. His mother moved the family to Port Chester, New York, seeking peace. Growing up, Sullivan developed a deep emotional reserve, shaped by grief, but he also developed a love for music, which filled the home with hope. That love never left him. As a teen, Sullivan shined in sports, earning 12 varsity letters and becoming captain of the baseball team, which taught him leadership and control. These qualities followed him into his journalism career, where he bounced between failing newspapers. Before landing at the New York Daily News, it was there that he began his famous column, Little Old New York, which made him a star in the Broadway and entertainment scene. Sullivan wasn't just a writer, he was a talent scout, someone whose approval could make or break careers. His column led to radio, and eventually to CBS offering him a television show in 1948, Toast of the Town, which was later renamed The Ed Sullivan Show in 1955. Though critics mocked his stiff delivery and nasal voice, audiences adored him, making his show a weekly staple for millions of American families. But behind the scenes, Sullivan was controlling and quick-tempered. His daughter Betty described a man who could explode over the smallest issues, a sharp contrast to his calm on-camera persona. He was also paranoid, once accusing his daughter's boyfriend of being a communist without any real evidence. That paranoia came during the Cold War, when even entertainers like Sullivan weren't immune to suspicion. As Sullivan rose in fame, so did the controversies. In 1967, he clashed with the Doors after they refused to censor a lyric about getting higher. The band went ahead as planned, and Sullivan, enraged, banned them from future shows. Jim Morrison famously shrugged and said, "But we just did," cementing the moment in rock history. The Rolling Stones had a similar run-in when CBS made them change "Let's spend the night together" to "Let's spend some time together." Mick Jagger's sarcastic eye rolls during the performance said everything. These were moments of rebellion broadcast to millions, showing how young artists pushed back against network censorship and Sullivan's rigid control. Then there was comedian Jackie Mason, whose act was cut short by a presidential announcement. Sullivan misinterpreted a hand gesture, believing it was obscene, and canceled Mason's 6-show contract. The fallout nearly destroyed Mason's career, and even after Sullivan later apologized, the damage had been done. Sullivan wielded his influence like a sword, and crossing him could end your career overnight. Yet, he also used his platform to uplift black performers at a time when others wouldn't. He featured legends like Ella Fitzgerald, Louis Armstrong, Sammy Davis Jr.B., The Supremes, and James Brown, even going so far as to eject sponsors who complained about his inclusivity. Sullivan believed talent mattered more than race, and for that, many praised him. But his temper still got the better of him, and stories like Bo Diddley's remained a painful contradiction. The Ed Sullivan Show aired over 1,000 episodes from 1948 to 1971 and introduced the world to Elvis Presley, the Beatles, and countless comedians, actors, and musicians. The Beatles' 1964 performance drew 73 million viewers, a TV record at the time. Sullivan controlled every detail, famously insisting Elvis be filmed only from the waist up. Even as television changed, his power remained unmatched. When the show was canceled in 1971, it marked the end of an era. 2 years later, his wife Sylvia passed away, leaving Sullivan devastated. The couple had married in secret in 1930 due to religious differences and shared a long, complex marriage. Sullivan himself died in 1974 of esophageal cancer, never knowing the full extent of his illness, as his family chose to protect him from the news. His funeral was held at St. Patrick's Cathedral, and while millions remembered him as the man who brought America's biggest stars into their homes, his family remembered a man who was kind, distant, strict, and full of contradictions. His grandson, Rob Precht, and daughter Betty spoke of a man whose perfectionism and control shaped every moment of his life, for better or worse. He was a trailblazer, a gatekeeper, and a man who both lifted others and tore them down. His story is one of greatness and controversy, a reminder that even icons have shadows. If you found this look into Ed Sullivan's life as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a deep dive into the real stories behind Hollywood's biggest legends.